I like seeing him. Have you ever seen his Hulk?
Yeah, not really. I've seen
It's
him on
pretty awesome.
posters. Like, it's just he paints himself green, and
But he was yoked as back before everybody could do steroids. Now, like, there's so many industries where it's like a 32-year-old guy and he's never been in shape in his life, and now he's yoked. Like, what the?
yeah, that testosterone or whatever.
Yeah, they're
like,
on.
and yet we don't have
And
like
their heads get bigger.
our healthcare sucks, but our 60-year-old men are like ripped right now.
Yeah, we have pound for pound some of the most ripped old men in the country driving around. Like, that's a problem because with that comes the side effects of, like, it also affects your day-to-day existence and your thought process. Like, it's not just muscle serum.
The TRT.
Yeah, you're like a big
Yeah.
horny freak.
Yeah.
Just running around with a hard on
Like
that you
Vince
shouldn't
McMahon.
have. Yeah. That's probably literally like why.
Yeah.
Because you're probably, your testosterone drops off when you're 40. You're probably supposed to be significantly less horny. And these guys are walking around gorilla mode all the time, like caveman shit.
Yeah. Vince McMahon's doing shit where he's like jerking off like a 13-year-old, like at home. Like as soon as everyone leaves, he's like, he finds a grapefruit in the fridge and fucks it. Like when you're that horny.
Yeah. Trying to find devices when you're learning to fap. It was great. Like, there's been times where I just walked around like my old house. I would just look at like anything. I would think like, how could I fashion this Xbox controller?
Dude, I told this story before, but it's the most like it's crazy and it's true. At middle school, they gave I didn't go to a fucking rich, it was a public school. Like they gave everyone teaching CPR. They gave everyone like probably like a $40 CPR dummy, and it was like from the chest up, and it had this like plate on the breastplate that clicked, and it literally had a head.
And you tried to clear an obstruction.
And obviously, everyone just, at least me, goes home and fucks that thing in the mouth. Why would they give us that? That's insane.
I didn't have that class.
It was in the school I didn't go to you with.
Oh, shit.
And then they just gave everyone blowjob dolls.
Yeah.
The first day I got there.
Yeah, for sure. I would have been like going hammer on the skull.
That's why I wish I went to cosmetology class as an elective. I could have fucking prettied it up before I left.
You go through different than carpentry to build the torso. Like you use piece by piece, like use your schooling.
Build stilettos. Like I got a shoe fetish.
Yeah. It's good to use your actual manual labor for horny stuff. Like guys that do carpentry make glory holes.
That's a very easy, dude. We're all sold out of the fucking the rotary Dremel or whatever the fuck
to hold it still and make a perfect circle. That's some talent.
When you're not a handyman, but you have that 4-inch circle drill bit in your car, you're responsible for a couple glory holes.
Yeah,
I was installing a doorknob.
I want to see a glory hole that has 2 separate holes, and your balls go through a different hole. But like there's a gap in between, so like your balls are poking out, then the wall, then your dick over the top, and it's sort of like those sheath underwear that gets advertised on every podcast.
In those design books, there's like books that are like, this is a classic design thing. The name Glory Hole has got to be one of the best brandings. Like it doesn't mean but you can't come up. It sticks so good. Everyone fucking knows what that is, and they really shouldn't. And I credit the name.
That's true.
I think the name is so good that it's just so well known.
Yeah.
Because if we called it like a Rupert's portal. Then nobody would fucking, you'd have to teach people that, and then they'd think it was.
That's crying. My eyes are fucking red.
Yeah, glory holes are awesome.
That's true, because like if it wasn't for porn, I've never seen a glory hole. Like
yeah, and I'll never even think something's a glory hole. Even if I saw a guy putting his dick in it, I'd be like, get your dick out of that. That's not a glory hole. They gotta patch that up.
They don't have that here. That was like to pass toilet paper. You run out.
And then one thing, it's like the fucking, people say Pornhub, like it was years ago, but they you have to like send them your ID to upload it now. And it's like I feel like a lot of the kinky, crazy sex shit is like not as crazy as it used to be because these are not normal people. Like now you can kind of like you don't have to have a day job. You can make your money like do being a
An
freak.
adult man,
Yeah.
an adult woman doing adult content.
There was a one of this video at Costco, and I forget they were trying to prank the Costco employee, but he ended up admitting to them. He's like, "I don't give a fuck about this job. I'll get fired. I have OnlyFans." And he's like, "You have OnlyFans? You
Yeah,
like?"
subscribe to 17 different girls. I'll just jerk off all day if you find me.
And he's like, you have sex on your OnlyFans?" He's like, "Right now, I'm just jacking my shit."
Dude, like you must think you're the king of the world if you can make a living jerking off and people think you're so hot that like that pays your bills to jerk off. Like I imagine if I spent the next year of my life making one jerk off video, like it was the most epically produced one. There was
Yeah.
like a cast and crew for my jerk off video. It would still get 4 views maximum. Like who wants to watch that?
But then it's like your looks are not to say that that's not an easy ass living, but for a few years, and then it's like if your looks go to shit, if you live a hard lifestyle, and then like maybe you start, other people become hotter, and you're not like the gimmick. Because some of these people who make a shit ton of money are like the not even the hottest girls, but they just like are the best at that look. Like specifically, like who was the one with the bathtub water? The
Belle
fucking
Delphine.
yeah, Belle Delphine. And then it's like fucking I like Amy Winehouse, and then I found out she was British. And it's the same thing with Bella Delphine. It's like you see those pictures and you might get turned on,
Yeah.
but then it's like she doesn't look like that. Her ears don't look like that. They're normal. The fucking hair's a wig.
Yeah.
And then she talks like Adele.
She kind of just took Cherry Crush's whole shit. Kind of
Yeah.
just came in and stole the game on that known ASMR creator. It's funny that the porn girls like figured out that they could do that. Like guys hornily watch, like you jerk off to a girl and then you're like, all right, time to go to bed. I'm gonna watch her scratch a Rubik's cube with nails and go to bed to that.
Yeah. Fucking ASMR shit is like I don't know who it's 100% sexual if you're watching the intentional ones where it's like ASMR Clara.
Yeah,
And she
I watch one where it's a Chinese guy doing like a Quan Yu massage on a student.
and it's real?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. It's like it's an unintentional one.
the fucking there's like a source of unintentional ones that are I guess there's like a point in medical school, at least in some schools, where they make you film it's maybe it's not about it being filmed, but they just like have you do a checkup, like a cranial nerve exam.
Yeah, what is
fucking big one.
that?
It's where it's some bullshit science, some fucking Chinese medicine type shit where they just put your finger, look at this, look at that.
Yeah, you do
and,
the cat clock.
and nobody doesn't pass. And if you don't pass, guess what? It's like they just mark it for history. They're not going to try to fix that shit. Oh,
We're going in. Get the drill.
No, your eye. I think we got to update the drivers in your brain or something.
Yeah, what can they do? All right, you're fucked. So thanks for coming.
That's the thing about the doctors. Like, I feel like if you go and they're like, "You're fucked," and I felt fine, and then now I'm like have something that I didn't. That I'm like, thank God I found it. But it's like, is it thank God I found it, or did they plant it?
Yeah, I just
on
sat
me?
up when you said that because I thought about my discs that are herniated that hurt worse when I found out they were herniated.
Oh, sorry about your discs. Yeah,
Yeah.
The spine is a fucking
A cruel mistress.
yeah.
Cruel. Like, that's funny that that's a saying. Like, the normal people say, like, that's a fucking weird, like.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a cruel mistress? Like fucking
Yeah.
yeah, she fucking she took all my money and called my wife.
And uploaded the video of her pegging me. That's what, like, cruel mistress means your butthole is getting touched by a woman. That's what a cruel mistress is.
Maybe it just started off as like it always has to be something that involves death, maybe. So it's like death is a cruel mistress. Maybe it's
Oh, I guess nobody says that. I was thinking of it like a saying like Steak and Shake is a cruel mistress. Like nobody says it like it's specifically about death. I
oh,
guess.
maybe it could be like that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I guess it could.
But
Mainly death.
there was one story that I don't think I ever told, which was like when I was like 14 or 15, I got real into high fashion, and I wanted to like wear all the
I hated this time.
yeah, where I was like, listen,
Every day I was like, I would call you and you'd pick up and I'd be like, I fucking hate you, dude.
I listened to Odd Future, so I bought some Supreme.
He was a walking fucking paradox.
Yeah. And then I remember I got a Kenneth Cole. I thought Kenneth Cole shit was sick, and it was because it was at the fucking
Macy's or something?
discount. It wasn't at. It was at the store. It was at the Kenneth Cole outlet, which is closed.
I didn't know they had that.
It closed.
I thought that was like a Ross only brand.
Yeah, they had real stores. I wasn't aware that it was a TJ Maxx brand yet at the time.
Check out this sick Ross astronaut
and fucking
$9 shirt.
And it was like a sweater, and then I had like and it looked like it had a texture almost like quilted northern toilet paper, where it was like the patches. And
a sweater?
Yeah, it was a sweater.
What the fuck?
Well, here's another thing about
you probably look like a gay German nightclub performer.
Yeah, definitely. At best, literally, and at worst, it just looked like a fucking total piece of shit. But
I don't remember that piece.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I was an idiot, and when I was like, "So where do you wear your nice clothes?" It's like, "Well, I don't do anything. I like work at a grocery store and don't have any friends." So it was like my friend Cody was like, "Hey, my stepdad or my dad just bought this store in the plaza or some shit, and he wants to repaint it and like renovate it." And then
you wore your sick fashion.
Yeah, long story short, I go with him to fucking, and I'm just like, dude,
custom piece, bro.
This will be fun. This will be better than sitting at home. And dude, yeah, I immediately get green paint all over.
How much was it?
I don't know. I mean, I forget how much it was. It was probably $80 for a sweater, but
that's not too bad.
All that shit gets ruined anyway. But I fucking yeah. So I don't really spend too much money on clothes like after that.
Yeah, I don't like to have to be like worried about getting my clothes fucked up. Like anytime I wear something that costs more than $20, I'm like, oh shit. Is there weather today?
Yeah, and girls' clothes are like a lot cheaper, I think. Like they don't really, get the same.
A bitch will be like a Instagram model and she gets her clothes off Shein.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Dude, my fucking mom and sister both get their clothes off Shein, and they try to tell.
I don't like when people say it like Sheen, like from Jimmy Neutron.
And then when they fucking send you one, and then it's like, oh, I what about this? There's Sheen, and then there's another one, and you look
Carl,
and you look at the menu or the items they have for men, and it's all like Korean, like hot boy Korean.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
So
you have to be pale white and look like a porcelain doll and have like massive cheekbones.
Fucking, I don't know.
They're getting surgery, right? Like,
yeah, that's like a common.
We got Koreans and they don't look like that. We got plenty of Koreans over here.
That's a common 16th birthday present is a nose job in Korea.
Not saying they're not handsome folks. I'm just saying they don't look like that. They don't have that weird like super masculine bone structure, but ultra feminine everything else. Like the fucking.
And then like the North Korea shit too. Like, can we figure that out?
What do you mean?
Are we just gonna they're just like, there's a north and there's a south. Like, can we just turn it back into Korea, or is that never gonna happen? Like, that would be
impressive. We gotta
impressive.
overthrow the big man up north, but he's not with that. He's over there making custom basketball.
I love how that dude is literally like the best villain ever. He really is the number one world villain.
It's so good that he's fat. Like, I like a nice fat man every now and then. Like fat guys, there's an aura of being a fat guy.
Yeah.
Like that's it can be very endearing. I like a big fat stuff.
When you're like, it's not just like a new, like you just got fat either. Like you've been fat. It's like
yeah, he's just the fat guy and it's fucking awesome.
It's like when you see a turtle, it's like 100 years. You already know it's like 100-year-old turtle.
But you got to be like the correct fat. You got to be wide fat. You can't be only belly fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be the center of mass has to be right.
I want you to be just a huge unit. Dude, I saw this guy. I was at some store. He had to be 6'6", probably 492 pounds. He was like massively fat, but also hugely tall. And he was just like lumbering through the store. He was built like a Christmas tree. Like he got wider as he
Yeah.
went down.
Like, it's almost like you want to be like a super tall guy, but at the same time, you rarely see like a perfectly proportional super tall guy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. My girlfriend was watching this video of this kid that's like in high school, and he's like this weird like Russian kid or from some weird white people country that's,
I think I know who.
and he's like 7 foot
Yeah.
25. He's huge, but he looks like such a freak. Like he looks like you just randomly extended the limbs on Photoshop, like without worrying about proportions.
Yeah.
And even his head is like elongated and stuff. And his neck looks kind of crooked always. Like he's never looking straight up. His neck is always on an angle.
I'm picturing like a whippet, like a dog. Like that's exact.
But what's weird about that is like there's that guy, and then there's Shaq who just looks like a big ass guy.
Yeah.
He's just a guy but huge.
Yeah, totally. There's guys like that, or like even if you're big but you have a small head, like you also have to have
Dwight Howard with his big ass shoulders and little head. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the tallest guys in the world always look goofy, like the Ripley Believe It or Not guy
Yeah.
with his glasses and the fucking they were like riding on that guy to make money off of him. They like bought like 400 years worth of his rights.
That game Skur Ritual that I played the demo for, one of the boss enemies is just that guy. He's wearing this stupid top hat and bullshit, and he has a cane, and he just walks at you super slow.
Oh, I gotta play that game. Some good old Call of Duty zombies.
Yeah, dude, we don't call it that anymore. That's fucked. We don't want to kill Nazis. That'd be bad.
That's right, yeah.
That's a weird one that they had to move away from. Like, we don't even want to say the word Nazi.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we killed them. They came back and we killed them again. Like, if anything, that's a nice message to be like, if Nazism is ever back on the rise, we're gonna kill them again.
Yeah.
If we killed it once, we'll kill it again.
That had to have been such a like a moment where at Activision where like it was okay to call it Nazi zombies for at the time.
For
and
years.
then like years at some point someone goes, wait a minute, like our biggest moneymaker is called Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
Like we gotta kind of stray away from the Nazi thing.
Yeah.
And it would literally
But to be honest,
like,
nobody was like, the zombies were awesome. I want to be like one of the Nazi zombies.
and then in World at War, like the original game, it was like filled with swastikas.
The kid who likes turtles was actually a Nazi zombie. He was dressed up like a Nazi zombie.
Oh yeah, that's just gonna get associated with. Dude, he's a Nazi zombie.
You misunderstand the term now. Any zombie is a Nazi zombie.
Thank God, yeah, they switched that.
I like turtles.
And
And,
then
the master race.
I hated-
the master ways. In the political space, Tucker Carlson was on Rogan, and I'm not going to talk about any of the stuff that he really talked about, but it's so weird when he's talking. He'll just hit the most deranged laughter. Have you heard him?
Tucker.
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's talking. He's on Rogan, and they're like, and some people believe in evolution, and I don't.
Yeah.
It sounds edited. It's crazy. It's like, what the fuck? He sounds like a wild animal being gored.
He does seem like a little like a screw loose now. Like it's all the Zen pouch.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
I haven't heard that.
It's insane. Yeah, I'll have to show you. But I did, to not just shit on the man, I did hear Rogan was doing his usual, like, you have to do difficult things to be a difficult man. And Tucker was like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I grew up super posh. Like, we never did anything like that. And it's like, it's cool when, as a broke man, it's nice to hear when people that grew up super loaded don't pretend that they didn't.
Yeah, because
Like-
they do. They'll always be like, they'll compare themselves to the richer guy than they're like, dude, no, my first car was like a used like
BMW.
4-wheel drive truck or something
Yeah.
that my dad had for 7 months.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a levels to it, but yeah, it is nice when people,
Acknowledge your levels. Just acknowledge your level, and I will like you no matter what. Like, you know.
yeah, people try to appease to the working man. It's like, oh no, I did that, dude. I worked at my country club for a few months. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
Clocking in that pay stub.
And then he took over his dad's firm like after 6 months of that.
Dude, I worked forever. I worked and went to college. I went and picked up my dad's dry cleaning, and then I sat in his office and drank his whiskey.
Yeah, I liked that. I want to talk about baseball. I want to talk about you're showing me this hotel that's inside of the Blue Jays stadium.
Oh yeah, right here we got the this awesome ass hotel called the Sky Dome Hotel in the Toronto Blue Jays stadium. Like the Marriott runs it. But this is a guy showing the game's live right now on
No
TV.
way, fam.
Look at that. You walk up, and it's like it's sick because it's so devout. Like everything you see is the game. You're literally in the stadium. You can hear how loud it is. You could like.
As a man who has lived a life of luxury, I can tell you, this is just box seats. This is a fucking ripoff.
That's a good point. If you count it as a ripoff, I looked up the rates, and the big caveat is that I don't know if this is the cost when a game is going on, or if absolutely nothing is going on. But
they don't even have the lights on in the stadium.
Yeah, it was 1,000 Canadian, so that's about $800 a night. But I don't know the Blue Jays schedule, so I don't.
I want some guy to just like buy it for a year and rent it like it's an apartment. And he just
Now you're right about the box seats, because then it's like you could just go there, watch the game, and basically get the same effect. But
private viewing.
I could see this being, if you're in Toronto for a night and it's like $800. Like honestly, like,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I mean, if you got like a
dude, you know what? They have like concerts there probably. That's probably sweet.
Oh yeah. I also had this video queued up. This vegan woman was live streaming and hit a woman on the crosswalk.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Is she on like Xannies? What's going on with her?
She looked like she was smoking weed at the time. She just hit her.
Wait, you gotta go back.
Okay, I'll go back.
I wasn't prepared. Vegan hit someone. Vegan patriot.
But I wonder
Thump. And the look
at her face.
And she gets out.
Oh my God, are you okay? I didn't see her. Why are you not looking? I was looking. I didn't see her.
She was looking.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. So we'll make fun of. I could make fun of her. Here's her statement. I'm blessed because I decided not to be a piece of shit, she said. The cop literally told me, just so you know, I know how hard that was. Do you know how many hit and runs we have out here? So patting herself on the back, even though she filmed herself doing it, so she kind of had no choice.
It wasn't me.
She also alleged the pedestrian had been hit, was fine, and she wasn't worried about being sued due to having insurance.
I have insurance, so I could just fucking kill you.
Yeah, it's going to fix everything. While cannabis is legal in California, driving under the influence of drugs is a crime.
I want to come back to this, but I saw a video of a prank where somebody made a Halloween costume of the Spirit Halloween employee and then brought it in and said, I want to return this. And it was the costume, and it was a picture of her with like the clothes that she had on and her a wig of her. And she's like, what is this? Why does it have my picture on it? I'm going to call corporate. Like, and then she's like, no, this is illegal. I'm calling corporate. And it's like, does she think that that's a governing body? Like how this lady's like, I'll call insurance.
Yeah,
like But
maybe she thought that corporate
was selling it
with her face on it.
But she was like using that as like a threat to him. Like I didn't understand it.
Yeah, there is a guy like at the GameStop where he returns a game. I like the costume better because that's a little more creative. But he has a game and it's just like Farm Truck Simulator 5, and it's a guy or GameStop Employee Simulator 5 or something, and it's his face on it. The problem is the dudes doing it always sell it like they're a douchebag who's trying to make you look stupid. He'll be like, instead of being like, hey, I ordered some games online, or just like trying to be like, hit your guard down to get him to fall for it. They have to look cool at the same time. They'll be like, yeah, I got this game. It sucks here. So it's like you're already off to the guy doesn't like you. And then the guy looks in and is like, my face. And he's like, get out of the fucking store. Like, get out of here. Get out. And then it turns into fat neckbeard freaks out on cute Korean boy. And then he comes back. We're going to come back to harass this guy because that TikTok blew up and I want more views. So we're going to give him $500 in a game with his face on it again. So he comes back with the game and the guy's like, no, I already called the cops. You're trespassing, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, dude, just so you know, I was giving you $500. And every time they do the almost gave you $500 thing.
Yeah.
If anyone ever comes up to me and is like, do you want this mystery box for $1? I'd be like,
get away from me.
Like, I'm not fucking like, you know, because then it's like, it's either going to be the $500 or you look like a naive idiot on video when it's like, it's AIDS or something. Like, and then everyone's like, well, who would fucking open up a mystery box from a stranger? Yeah. It's always obvious in retrospect on the, but the,
well, we could go back to the vegan lady running people over. And I wanted to go back on this.
Oh,
if we got anything left.
To defend her, that she says it was she only talks about her own side of this and brushes off the woman getting hit. But she says you could go and look at the live stream. I wasn't even looking at the chat. I was looking at the road.
Yeah.
And that is true. We could check, like, it's very short, but this is where she hits her.
So free her. Free vegan patriot.
Yeah, literally.
She seems like a fucking airhead. She's gonna get out and within 1 year kill somebody with her car probably.
And cannabis legal in California, but still, if you're literally smoking,
yeah, you can't do that.
I'm imagining her smoking a joint, which I always thought was like insanely risky to do.
Yeah, that's a very reckless move.
Yeah,
anyone who does that,
like, that's always like illegal. Like, and that's very easy to. That's like a minor charge in this situation. Is everyone just smoking a joint in California?
You're putting that like in people's face.
Yeah.
Like, you're asking for trouble if you have a blunt while you're driving down the street.
One thing I thought was true, I've heard people say it, but like, if you are a person who gets drug tested, if you're like an ex-felon too on probation, like, and someone's smoking next to you at a red light, like that, you might get nervous that like that's gonna, you know, fuck up your whole life just because you don't pass a drug test.
Yeah, but that's also the shit like the people that try to free murderers, like that guy that got out and went on Rogan and was like, I turned my whole life around. I don't, everything's different. And then 3 weeks later, cut somebody into pieces.
Yeah.
It was his last resort.
Yeah.
Suffocation, no breathing.
I saw some girl on TikTok and she was like, I finally got my dream job as a prison nurse. Like, that's her dream job, was being a prison nurse. And I looked at the comments because I was confused. I think it's a girl thing. Like,
they like prisoners?
They like, yeah, like, but I don't.
That's the nastiest lady ever.
Yeah.
There's no dirtier dick than a prisoner dick.
Yeah.
Dirty dicks.
That is
done dirt cheap. Is that another
Bon Scott? Yeah. Amazing. But
dude, that song's hard fucking core. Like, you see how people were like, it's satanic. But it's literally like, and you need a hitman to kill your wife.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about on that song.
To look in the lyrics, but it is a scary, just like the Beatles. They must have said the Beatles were satanic too when they came out. Yeah.
I wanna hold your hand.
But the songs before that was like,
I wanna worship Baphomet.
No, they didn't sing. I think it was like almost like a wow wow like that was the.
That's pretty satanic. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be on the lookout for Satan in all corners.
Yeah.
He's lurking. You got to get him before he gets you.
I don't look when I see. I saw a TikTok that was like, not TikTok, but it was if you don't see Jesus, scroll down. And I didn't see Jesus at all. But like, it was two women holding ice cream together. But if you put the phone back and squinted and looked at it really small, it looked like almost like Dave Grohl. Like, literally.
With the witchcraft and devil shit, something like, this is just a verifiable fact, at least in Florida. Black ladies, or black people, especially women, like, they take that super seriously. And there's so many white girls that are like alternative and have like a weird goat head tattoo on their chest.
Yeah.
And then I overhear black ladies saying that, like, I had to talk to her, and this is a real thing I heard a lady say. She goes, and I just had to ask her straight up, where do you side on this whole thing? Are you with the devil or are you not with the devil? I just need to know where we stand. If you want to do that, that's cool. but I ain't gonna be with that.
Yeah.
just real quick. So you worship the devil? Okay, just making sure. What if it's valid?
That's a very adult way of going about a goat tattoo on someone. And it is, I'm sure it didn't mean that, but at the same time, I mean, that is that's a goat sacrificial.
I think the white devil is a real thing, like in black minds.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, they're very scared of witchcraft, but it's like, what is witchcraft? Like doing potions and shit? Like, that's not what the most evil white people are doing. They're doing lots of evil shit, but they're not like wearing a cloak, like stirring a cauldron and like sprinkle some of this in there. I'm gonna get them.
No, yeah,
no voodoo. We don't do voodoo and shit. We're just racist.
Some of them like voodoo, like that Bohemian Grove and shit.
That's
like,
true.
They do like cut like.
But that's like elites.
Yeah.
Like some dumbass white kid that works at Burger King isn't doing fucking witchcraft.
I know. Yeah, that's not the majority of white people. It's literally the minority.
And they don't get. It's never like they call it on people that don't have the right vibe. They don't have an occult vibe. It's literally just like a dirt bag. Like that guy, he's doing crystal meth. He's not doing voodoo.
Yeah. And I don't know why guys on drugs and like homeless people really like seem to know the secrets to the universe, like in their own mind. Like, and I don't know. I mean,
oh my god,
these are the vocal minority.
Dude, I used to work. I worked at a pizza place with this guy who was a 50-year-old white guy skater, and he had like full face tats. And he went to prison, and he would talk about like that kind of stuff. And then one day he comes into work. He was very like spiritual and stuff, and he was also very funny. Like most of the people that are like really hippie, they also are like psychos and have a switch. And he would get so mad. There was times where I would be legit nervous working with him because I thought he would swing on me, because he would like lose his cool like crazy, like scream and like slam shit all the time. But one day he came in on his hippie shit and was like, dude, I was just talking to this homeless guy, and he was just telling me about how all the wires are and the different frequencies and shit. And he was like taking this information like he was spitting fucking gospel.
Yeah.
Like literally a fucking guy that slept on the street and just like has done drugs every day for the last 17,000 days that he's been alive.
I knew a guy like that once at an old job where he was like always had anger issues, but he'd be happy too.
Yeah.
And then like one day I'm like working, and he came on his day off to like say something, and he was just like, dude, it's just such a beautiful day. He was like so overtime. He's like, yeah, man, I just have all this energy. I woke up, and then he's like, all right, dude, have a great day. I'll see you later. And then he like is walking away to his car, like skipping away, and then he goes, hey Bob. He goes, what? And I haven't even smoked weed today. And that dude was such a prick half the
time. On the subject of working with people who smoked weed, also the pizza job, there was this black guy that I worked with, and he was like the only black guy. Just side note, interesting. When there's only one, it's like, what the fuck? We got to get two. Like it's like when you get hamsters or whatever, you got to get two. You can't only have one. It's too weird. But you got to bring a friend. But before I started working there, I heard this story about him because he smoked weed all the time. And this lady that I worked with was like, yeah, one day I guess he didn't have any weed, and he came into work and he was acting all weird. And then he crashed his car on the way home.
Oh my God.
And she blamed it on weed. Like that's what happened. He didn't have weed, and he was withdrawing so hard that he crashed his car from not having weed for a day.
What a bad luck. Yeah. Dude, he was just too fucking clear-headed.
People that make weed smokers look bad.
He thought he'd get it'd boost his high maybe to get the airbags to go up.
He was just dry. He didn't have any in.
Someone said, pull up. And then he fucking crashed his car. Hey, yeah, bro, pull up. I'll serve you.
Yeah. He got fucking. He needed it bad. What do you think? Are we good here?
I think we're good.